Okay, we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna put it in on my phone here. Let's see if it works better. Okay, let me know if you can see me now. So the problem I'm seeing with current cleanses is that they actually, it's sort of like, yes, you can do a few day cleanse and you feel great, but what actually have you done and what does it mean to your body? You feel better for a few days, so you feel great that you've done something good. But what does it mean to your body? It's a little bit like for a week brushing your teeth 2 or 3 times a day and then they're stopping. Let me see here. I am on a new live video. There you go. Not now. Publish. Okay, for some reason I don't even see here. I hope you guys can see me. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I couldn't see it from my iPad. So the problem that I'm seeing with this agenda is a couple of issues. Number one, you can't treat your body like a car when we change the oil seasonally, right? That's what we do, change the oil seasonally. We have a seasonal, especially January cleanse. Unfortunately, when you don't drive your car, it sits there, it does nothing. When you don't drive your body, you sleep, your body is regenerating. Your body doesn't turn off. It's 24/7. It's constantly working for you and protecting you. And so, let me see, I'll put a bubble here. Hello? There you go. See, you guys can tell me you're there. Technology. So think about it. We actually have a very new car to drive. We've never been in a position when we have so many chemicals in the system, and when actually scientists are studying umbilical cord and infants in the womb and the chemicals. Hello, Amy. I think I lost Cynthia. I had to jump on a new video. I apologize. So the point is, we have a very new entity. We have a very new car. Hi, Holly. Oh my goodness. Hi, Heidi. I hope you feel better. So we have this new car we have to drive. If you have a car and you're 15, you have to get a driver's license. You have to learn how to drive, right? So nobody has taught us how to drive this new machine, which means, and this new machine is our toxic reality. And I'm not about gloom and doom, okay? I'm all about solutions, and this is how I live my life, and I have been teaching the detox for many years to so many of my patients and clients. But the point is, the reality is, you eat potatoes. It's not just potatoes you eat. You eat steak. It's not just steak that you're eating. There's so much interference with chemicals that we have to learn the new reality. And certain things that are common are not normal just because they are common. So you have common use of microwaves, but they're not normal, and they do affect the human body. They do create molecules that are foreign. Some resemble carcinogens, and we feel that heating food is not a problem, right? Hi, Heidi. Unfortunately, there is a cumulative effect. So that's why I was saying, you can't just brush your teeth once a month and expect that you're doing a good job. You can't do a little cleanse in January and feel you're good to go, you're off the hook, because your body, unlike your car, doesn't turn off for the night. You go to sleep, your body is repairing. This is where your liver is cleansing. This is where a lot of repair is happening, because you're not working, you're not expending energy, and the body can then rest. So the immune system can work, there's cleaning going on. So it's very interesting how we love quick, simple solutions, and we like to feel better. We do a cleanse and we feel better, right? So let's jump in with your questions. I want to know what kind of cleanses, juicing programs, water fasts, detox programs you've done. What was the name? How long? And was it good? Or did it hurt you? Did you have die-off? Hi, Jen! Happy Saturday, everyone. So let me see if I can show you again. We just missed the sunset, but let me see if there's anything here. You can't quite see anymore. Let me just get outside with you just for a second. So type away and let me know what kind of cleanse you've ever experienced. And if you haven't, let me know that you haven't. Just type 10, please. I'll wait. Here we go in the meantime. See there. There you go. Detox makes me feel so weak. Nausea and fatigue may be due to viral overload. Okay, Heidi. Very good point. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Here's the deal. No matter who you work with and who offers you a program, and especially if you have chronic EBV, especially, but any chronic illness in general, I never ever want you to feel weaker, nauseated, or fatigued. If you do, here's what's going on. Cleanses deplete you, unfortunately. And here's the deal. We're not like we were 100, 200 years ago. We are already depleted. Okay, 2001, 2002, huge study on American population. There's this mediocre requirement. It's called EAR, estimated average requirements. Very mediocre. And when they took a huge population, I think it was 3,000 people, Americans in 2001, 2002, guess what? 93% didn't even meet that mediocre requirement of vitamin E. Okay, so we're just depleted. That's one thing. Yeah, and Jen is saying you've never been able to sustain, never feel good on them. I feel like a detox means lack of food. Yes, exactly. Hunger, headaches, flu-like symptoms. So, perfect example for you. And Cynthia, thank you for finding us back. I'm so sorry about the hiccup. And Heidi, okay, Heidi talks about fasting intermittently. Okay, that's good. But if you have a one-time cleanse, the problem is, number one, we are depleted. We are depleted. I'm reading Holly. I'll respond later, Holly, too. So that's number one. We have higher toxic burden than any generation before. The industries pollute more. There's just more accumulation. And then if you have chronic illness, you're also depleted. And so when you do a cleanse, you don't ever want to have this the kind of a cleaning, healing crisis, right? So people say, okay, you're going to feel crappy in order to feel good. So that's misconception. I've been teaching my detox program for many, many years. Hi, Anne. Thank you for coming, you guys, on Saturday. I've been teaching a detox program for many years, in person in Baltimore. Now we have it online. And one thing I always tell my people, we do not have a die-off. We do not have healing crisis. Any healing crisis like that, I consider a crisis. Because here's what's going on. When you are cleansing and you're already compromised, you're removing instead of nourishing. Okay. So when you detoxify faster than the body can clean it up and remove it, it's actually called not detox, but retox, reabsorbing toxins. So think about this. I'm going to walk you through that. The body has a capacity to detoxify, you know. It's just like kind of like blinking your eyes. How many times have you blinked your eyes since we started on this live webinar? You have no idea. And how many times did you take a breath? You have no idea, right? Hold on a second, you guys. I'm just reading. Yes, Cynthia, exactly. Slow and steady is very effective. Exactly, that's my point. So think about this. Your body has a capacity to detoxify. Just like you blink and you breathe, you detoxify. Every minute, every second, the body's doing its thing. I wish you could hear it, like put your ear to your hand and see how inside it's cleaning up, making changes, repairing. But you have a cap on your capacity, and we have different genes that maybe are not working, and some people have folate, SNP, MTHFR, or B12 is low. Now your folate, B vitamins are extremely important because they are part of the detoxification in the liver. And there's a lot of herbals and diet, anti-inflammatory, they're supporting of liver. There are a lot of nutrients that you absolutely must have in order to have that normal rhythm of detoxifying. What do you detoxify? Everything. Your liver is your filter. If you don't filter your water, your liver has to filter that water. That's your filter. That's your water filter. Any perfume you inhale or wear, any Tylenol you pop, any pesticide in your lettuce, anything, fumes from new furniture or from the car passing by, dioxin from burning forest, whatever it is that somebody, hi Elizabeth, oh my goodness, you have to deal with it. So your body has a capacity and depends on the person. So you start the process of detoxifying, and let's say you take certain things in the cleanse that expedite it, but you have to have those nutrients to speed it up. So if you are speeding up getting the toxins out of your tissues and releasing them into the bloodstream, you have to have tools to get them from the bloodstream to your sweat, to your urine, and to your stool, right? So think about it. If you don't get those toxins out of the bloodstream, into the stool, into the urine, or into the sweat, where the heck do those old toxins go when you have released them from your liver, from your fat, from anywhere? A lot of them will sit in the fat. Where the heck do those toxins go? Any ideas? Got you thinking? Where do they go? Think about it. Bloodstream is like a taxi. It delivers nutrients or toxins or whatever is in the bloodstream. Wherever it's going to get to your head. You're going to get headaches, joints, achy joints. So what does that mean? Whatever toxins you're releasing at a higher speed because you're doing a cleanse, you have to have more. Yeah, they recirculate. Exactly, Cynthia. You have to have more of those nutrients that are keeping those pathways running fast. Back to the liver, poor liver as well, but back to the bloodstream, exactly, Holly. And the bloodstream is just like a taxi. It delivers. It's going to deliver toxins everywhere. Everywhere. The blood goes everywhere, right? That's not what you want. So, and never, never, never sign up with any person who's going to tell you, first you're going to feel crappy for a few days. Because you can't afford it, especially when you're sick, especially with chronic conditions like EBV. So, the way I teach it is we never have a healing crisis. We never have retox. We're never reabsorbing toxins. We go slow. Just like who said that? Cynthia. Yes, Cynthia said she does a detox for heavy metals very slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Really slow and steady for your body is very, very beneficial because it also allows you to get the gear with the nutrients and be nourished. So, Dr. Bland, father of functional medicine, said something that I've been teaching everyone for years, and I agree with him completely, that we are too toxic to detox, so to speak. So you have to nourish yourself. So don't get into a framework or I'm going to detoxify and clean, I'm going to do aggressive fasting. If you are aggressively fasting and only drinking water, let's say water fast, it's not worth it because it's so aggressive. You're going to be very weak. God knows what toxins you're going to be releasing. If you have DDT from your parents, that is in your fat tissue, for example, that's going to sit there. Or if you have pesticides sitting there in the fat and suddenly you're releasing them, you have to have nutrients to get them out. Otherwise, instead of being tucked away in fats for safety, they're going to be doing damage right there coming through the bloodstream. So that's the big misconception that I want you guys to avoid. So intermittent fasting is good for some of you, I hear. And that's also a point of reference for intermittent fasting. It's great if your adrenals are not tanked, if you can handle getting up in the morning and not eating, let's say, for half a day. It's very, very difficult, and for most people it's not worth it. So I actually don't recommend it unless you work with somebody very experienced, and it's not me, because my population is too weak. What happens is the brain has absolutely no fuel all night, and it will die. It doesn't conserve glucose for later. It doesn't, it's just going to be struggle to get energy to get up and run on empty. So basically, when you wake up in the morning, your car doesn't have any gasoline. You have to put some gasoline in order to turn on the engine and drive. So we would never assume that we could drive the car on an empty because it wouldn't run. But the body has to figure it out, and we often do that. So intermittent fasting is a little scary because you have to be in a good place. So I'm glad that worked for you. Just keep it in mind, everybody else, if you want to. So I want to hear any more questions about what you've done. Whoops. Let me just scroll back here. So intermittent fasting. So Heidi, detox makes me feel so weak, nausea, and fatigue. Not a good detox shouldn't. So it's very similar to the work that I do with my EBV patients. When we start on the protocol for EBV and we go aggressively with the supplements, I always say, if you start feeling like you have die-off, or if you start being achy, if you start feeling worse, cut down, keep going down on dosages until you feel really better, stable. There's no point of pushing, because the body has, when you have chronic infection like EBV, your body's so compromised, you want to be good to it and gentle, slow and steady, right? So any cleanse you do, feeling weak and nauseated and fatigued is not worth it, because what it means is you're not getting enough nutrients, you don't get enough B vitamins, they're running the show as well. You need supplies for the body to drive it. So let me see here, and Jen was saying something too. Yes, you've never been able to sustain it. So it's very odd, because everybody kind of has similar experiences, that it's hard and it's lacking, it's restricting. So that's why I struggled naming my program. I still call it 30-day detox, because there's a lot of, it's heavy on education of how to detoxify properly in our current environment, which is very toxic. But yeah, detox in general means that you're gonna cleanse and eliminate. And my people in the program never do that. Our goal is always to feel better. So in my history, there's really the only thing that people experience over the years in my program is a few headaches from coffee withdrawal. We do take that out. So, and that's it. And, they can take it slower, and we replace it with green tea, for example. But so keep it in mind, and also keep in mind that we're not a car, so just changing oil once in a while is not enough. We're too toxic. The car doesn't care, but the body constantly has to compensate for what we're not doing. Let me see here. Oh, I didn't feel like that on your detox though. And you love the polysaccharide. I forgot you took it, Jen. Oh yes, the sauerkraut. Yeah, the benefit of our program is we have this amazing Polish sauerkraut salad that is just so yummy. So yes, Heidi, if you have, I'm looking at what you said, if you have very high titers with EBV, pretty much. So here's what happened. I was teaching this detox program for so many years, and then I had some cases with people with autoimmune disorders, and they would just come to life. And then I had a woman with lupus, and she would just come to life. It's like, of course, because, toxicity is so rampant. And I have to show you this amazing book from a few years ago. It's no longer new, but that was groundbreaking a few years ago, the autoimmune epidemic. But my friend, Donna Jackson Nakazawa, she's an investigative reporter who has a lot of autoimmunity in her own health. And then you have Dr. Pizzorno, founder of Bastyr University, where I trained. Amazing book about toxic solution, which is very similar to what I've been teaching all these years. And what was I saying? And so I didn't realize, because I wasn't doing work for EBV then, but I was starting to connect the dot, and my book on EBV and my work on EBV and my recommendations kind of came out of my detox program, because I realized, if you look at research, all those heavy hitters in terms of diet and lifestyle and toxicity sources, all that was kind of corresponding with where people would benefit from EBV, as well as just toxic load and feeling crappy and feeling overweight and feeling exhausted without EBV. Of course, at that time, we were never testing for EBV because I didn't know about it. So who knows how many of those cases that were like miracle turnaround, people getting their lives back, how many of those people had a degree of chronic EBV infection, such an epidemic now, so who knows. So anyway, keep questions coming here. Let me see. I feel awful on detox cleanses. Yes. I've been trying to eat in an 8-hour window and then fast 16 hours. Is that okay? Well, you know, Heidi, the problem may be that, you know, if you are toxic, if you want to cleanse, when your adrenals are really fatigued because of chronic stress, adrenals require carbs, good carbs, like maybe potatoes with the skins, organic, maybe, you know, or sweet potatoes or quinoa or really good quality brown rice, sturdy, some form of carbs to balance them, and also the brain thrives on it because that's what the brain prefers. And so when you're fasting, so if you are really compromised and you need to build your nutrient density and the amount of nutrients to actually start driving EBV down, then intermittent fasting, it's not going to provide those nutrients. And unfortunately, when your nutrient density goes down, the virus becomes more virulent. So Heidi, unless you tell me that you're feeling so much better on it, then I would say be careful and work with somebody. But it does seem like it's helping. But I don't do it too long. You need to be nourished. That's the first thing with the EBV. Take out toxic load but nourished at the same time. So like if you looked at my program, you would know it's a detox program because it's full of food, wonderful nourishing food. We're not restricting, we're just getting the gunk out. Does it make sense? Okay, questions. And same with heavy metals. Heavy metals, you can be very aggressive, but it leads nowhere. It's nice to be slow and steady. Patricia, hello. What causes the painful swollen lymph nodes? Amy, that's your probably Epstein-Barr. That's classic. It's probably where it's living right now. So if you don't have EBV, Amy, if you know you don't have EBV, but you have lymph involvement, lymph is your, think about the like the reverse of bloodstream. So I told you guys the bloodstreams is like a taxi, takes the nutrients from your gut, delivers everywhere. And lymph is the opposite. It actually takes toxins and moves them and get them through any pathways to eliminate, you know, through stool, through the liver, stool, urine, sweat. So that's why lymphatic drainage, like Amy, what you could really benefit would be lymphatic drainage from a massage therapist. Lymphatic drainage massage. It's very gentle. Or mini trampoline, you have to jump to start moving it, because lymph only moves with the gravity. So if you are stationary, if you are sedentary, it's not going to move. But if you jump a little bit, like on a mini trampoline, you don't have to exert any energy. You just jump, you massage all the organs, and you actually move the gravity. The gravity moves the lymph, improves it. So if your lymph is swollen, then your toxic load is sitting, it's not moving. But it's very common for acute EBV. Can you detox? This is from Holly. Can you detox if your labs always show low glutathione despite taking it orally? Would IV glutathione be bad or good? So Holly, I don't know what it means when you say to detox, because if you were taking my program, you would just be eating a lot of food, and you would have a lot of materials for the body to make glutathione. But in some cases, when it's always low, NAC and selenium build glutathione. Glutathione can be taken on your skin as well, topically. And also, glutathione orally is not very well absorbed. So you have a couple of companies that have like liposomal glutathione that is reformulated, so it's like a little pump you swallow. There's a couple of brands that have better options, but if you just take glutathione in capsules, no, it's not readily absorbable anyway, so you're not going to get much out of it. And yes, glutathione IV might be fine, but depending on your genetics, some people have glutathione overload easily, and so more may not be better. However, in cases of high toxicity, like Parkinson's, for example, if you look at studies, if somebody does IV glutathione, Parkinson's symptoms decrease for a few hours, I think. And when the glutathione is spent, the Parkinson's returns. People with Parkinson's do not make that glutathione, and that's a huge toxic load increase in the body, because glutathione is involved in detoxification in the liver. Okay. Let me see what Cynthia is saying. Severe autoimmune problems. Had all my meds made for me, and so there's a lot of them. So I don't really understand how do I incorporate all of these supplements and detox? Because blood work finally shows those levels are good. Yes, so very good question. So let's say I really don't like detox kits. So for example, I work with Nutrimetrics, but they have a nice detox kit for 2 weeks. I never use it. I never recommend them. I'd rather do supplements that are based in nutrients and antioxidants that I've noticed, and botanicals that I've noticed that they do a lot of support. They have nutrients, and so they don't detoxify, but they allow the body to be more efficient and keep the detox flowing so it can take care of it. So for example, like I keep saying, you guys, B complex, B vitamins, good B vitamins, they are instrumental in the detoxification, and it's not just for detox. I take them every day, but for a lot of people, a lot of women, it's like, oh, I have to take a supplement. You don't have to, but B vitamins also are used up in stress. They are stress vitamins, so you use them easily, and you use them up. So it's not that in a detox, like a healthy detox, like what I teach, you wouldn't be inundated with supplements, but you would be on a good multi. You would be on a good B complex. You would be on a good, strong antioxidant, and maybe good curcumin, things that are really well studied and help the body in many ways. Yes, Amy, you have off the chart EBV numbers. You need to do something about it. Hello, Robin, all the way from Australia. Hi. Glutathione topically. Cream. It's a cream. Or look for liposomal. So liposomal, it's a little, almost like an emulsion, and you put a pump on your tongue. And but I like things like NAC and selenium because they are building blocks for glutathione. Normally, if your body is working well, your body is making your glutathione for you. If you have my EBV book, go to the index. There should be a couple of chapters when I talk about glutathione, so you can learn a little bit more about that. Angie, okay, how do you know your numbers for EBV? Angie, if you want to be your own advocate and know what your numbers are, you can always test and retest on your own. There are labs direct to consumers if you have $100 on your hands. I have 2 links at least on EBV Help. So EBVHELP.com. There is a website page with labs. If you keep scrolling, you're going to see 2 buttons. One is for life extension and one is for request a test. Both of them have the right combinations of antibodies. You can test directly. You can call the labs and do it wherever you live. So you always know what you have. Hi, Linda. Yes, 4-part antigen test for EBV. That's exactly what Linda is saying. Angie, you can look up that website site. Also on that page, I have a complete write-up of how to interpret the lab results once you get them, so you can have a better conversation with your family, with your spouse, with your doctor even, or show it to the doctor. So, okay, any other questions you guys have? Let me see if I wanted to share something. All right. Does anybody think that organics is a fad and it's expensive and overpriced and it's not worth it? What do you guys think? Is it a fad? Organics just says yes or no. If I say fad, let me see. I have to scroll here to see what you guys. Okay. No fad. Heidi's already on liposomal glutathione. There we go. Yeah, with glutathione, maybe Heidi, I would just try NAC and selenium first because they do so many other things. And they will help build the glutathione, the way the body has to build it. Life extension, yes, Angie. Yes, it's worth every penny. Cynthia says organics are a fad and mostly a waste of time. Okay. So, Angie, unfortunately, I'm asked this question so many times still, and so this is for Angie. Unfortunately, it's not a fad, and unfortunately, even though organics certification is not perfect, it's very expensive, and not every farmer can afford it. And there is a drift from genetically modified crops and the seeds, the pollen. Unfortunately, there is contamination. So I think there was a study on organic wine in California, and 80% was contaminated with GMO. However, it is still the cleanest produce. It is still the cleanest produce, and we have an unprecedented toxic load, and not just from foods. If you see, let me see if I can show it to you. You have no idea how toxic the air is, for example, that we breathe, or what's in our water. I have huge chapters in the book just because I really wanted people to see it. I'm just looking for that picture of my filter when I was terrified. Aha, there you go. Let me see if I can show you my fingers. Okay, this was nasty black soot that I couldn't wash off from the walls and my fingers. And it wasn't from forced air because I didn't have that, but I would just open the window periodically for my kitty in my office in Baltimore. This is what we're breathing. And so, unfortunately, as imperfect as organics are, there's a noticeable decrease in pesticides, herbicides, and of course glyphosates are not allowed, and that's a different story. But let me tell you, whether the problem is that the density of nutrients between the produce now and the produce 50 years ago, there's a difference, and the nutrient status is decreasing. So let me see. I actually had done found quite a few studies, and they're frightening. So, for example, this is just between 75 and 97, so way back. This was a British Food Journal. They were looking at 20 fresh vegetables, and so that's decades ago. The decrease in calcium amount was 19%, iron 22%, potassium 14%. Just because the soil is being depleted, the soil is being overworked and not nourished. That's the kind of factory farming. So organic farmers have to nourish the soil, rotate it, so the produce is only as good as the soil. So the nutrients come from the soil, and that's what the produce gets. So if we're not eating organics, we're already at a disadvantage because the pesticide the load is higher and the nutrient density will be lower. And there's consistent studies showing that there's much higher vitamin C, iron, magnesium, phosphorus. Important antioxidants, phytochemicals are higher. Anthocyanins, these are anti-cancer, flavonoids, carotenoids, extremely important. And so that's organic food. The higher concentration of micronutrients, the genes are much richer, the greater functional gene abundance, diversity for several biochemical processes like nitrogen fixation and pesticide degeneration. So even organic soil, rich soil, can degenerate some of the pesticides. So, and of course, Robin says you can taste the difference big time. Yes, absolutely. If you switch, if you've always eaten apples and now you suddenly switch to organic apples, it's going to blow your mind. So you have to keep track of where you are. If you compromise, if you have a chronic infection like EBV, remember studies show with your nutritional status goes the status of EBV. So just one junky meal can really affect the nutritional status, and that will skyrocket and NF-kappa B, and that's what EBV feeds on. So the more NF-kappa B you have from low density foods, nutrient density food, the more EBV will actually be able to thrive, and is more virulent when your nutritional status is lower. And there goes the long-term periodic fasting because that's you're depleted regularly of nutrients, and just like Jen says, you're gonna feel really weak and awful. Hi Shirley, my dear. We're talking about Detox here at Pro. Let me see here, because you are posting a lot of great things. So Angie, organics is mostly a waste of time. So I don't agree. Time for farmers, no. It's all about soil, and I'm telling you, research is black and white. It is not looking good for commercial foods, unfortunately, and I'm just being objective, saying it with love. And glyphosate is bad for celiac. Yes, it can actually trigger celiac, my dear Holly. There's studies showing strong correlation, possibly causation. I've read that organic produce is contaminated with other inorganic crops and uselessly for organics. Yes, so Lindley, it's not perfect, but anybody with EBV there, you guys possibly are type A personalities. You have to be forgiving. You have to let go. We're not in a bubble. We're never going to have perfect organic produce. There's always going to be some contamination, unfortunately, even the drift. So the only way, so for example, you can have a beautiful organic garden, beautiful kale, growing it, eating it from your garden, but maybe your kale absorbs a lot of thallium from the contaminated soil, contaminated water. But how do you know you're using healthy water? Well, what about the rain? Unless you have greenhouse, right? The rain will be contaminated. Hoses, notoriously, garden hoses have lead. So when you're running water through the hose, you're going to have lead exposure on your produce. And people don't know it. There are actually hoses without lead. But just think about it. This is how insidious it is. And so any little bit of decreasing that toxic load from your environment will be great. You have to know that when they look at studies and there's so many pesticides and herbicides and chemicals in the umbilical cord of unborn children. And there was a study on breast milk, and every single mother tested had jet fuel in the breast milk. Jet fuel have perchlorate, and perchlorate interferes with your iodine, competes with iodine. That's your thyroid. That's your protection. Iodine is protection from breast cancer. And if you don't have iodine, if your thyroid is low, you may have fertility issues, or you may lose your pregnancy even if it goes really down. So pretty bad. I mean, we inhale the air. You can't live in a bubble. They're jet fuel. There's plane flying over every day here, and so I inhale it too. So yes, Lindley, long story to your question. Everything is contaminated, and therefore, I mentioned at the very beginning, we have a different vehicle, a different car that we have to drive, and that's our new reality. So, you know, if you take out microwaving, you're dropping that toxicity a notch. If you decrease your electromagnetic exposure, you're dropping that exposure, toxic exposure, a notch. Actually, electromagnetic field can reactivate your EBV. If you're gonna invest in organics, now you're dropping it really substantially. If you invest in water filter, now you're dropping it even more. Let me see here. They're adding not only chlorine but chloramide these days to water, and you don't know it, and that's even more toxic than chlorine. Let me see what else you're saying here. Angie says, I bought organic and free range for 30 months, and there's only a few places where I live. They have good quality. I understand fillers, genetic engineering, which I studied in college. I believe organic and grass-fed is better, but it's most impossible to eat that way, 90%, and I was eating that way to save my life at a time. Yes, when you're fighting for your life, this becomes worth trying, right? Shirley, what is your best way to detox? You're a pro. Maybe you can share with us. And Cynthia, let me see what you say. If a plane flies over and dumps stuff right over your house. Oh, yes. A lot of people live in the vicinity of the planes. When we lived in Canmore, I would be looking from my hammock. I would be looking at the sky. We were right on the path between probably California and British Columbia, and just cutting through from Seattle. Just all the planes were just flying directly, very high above us, but directly above us. Like, oh, it's kind of a new reality. So the body has to deal with so much more toxicity. So if we can turn it down a notch by changing our lifestyle a little bit and adjusting, it's not different than, you know, if it's cold, you put a hat on. It's just a new behavior. So, for example, you know, I'm drinking an aloe vera because I'm talking and I'm going to have a sore throat probably. So I'm just having a behavior here. Okay, let me see. You guys are posting. What's your opinion on acupuncture for opening meridian pathways and detox? Meridians are always wonderful. Energetically opening things is great. How much does it detox? It's all kind of trickling effect. So it's like an orchestra. You want different instruments playing together. Acupuncture is wonderful. Shirley, eat well all the time is my advice. Yes, you're a pro. Shirley did our detox program how many years ago now? Oh my gosh, you did great. Jennifer, hello. Where do I start with helping my teenage boy gain weight? Because at this point he's afraid to even eat much food because he always has chronic stomach pain. Where should I start with knowing what to give him to help him weight when he is dealing with EBV? So we're not talking about detox here, right? We're talking about just poor boy being underweight and struggling with EBV. I would say this. If you can find somebody locally, a functional doctor, Jennifer, you can go to Institute for Functional Medicine, Google them, and there is a zip code you can put your zip code and see if they are practitioners locally. You can call them and email them and check them out. Chances are you won't necessarily find somebody very versed in EBV, but you might find somebody who could do a good stool test like GI map. That's the best stool test. He may be infected, he may have co-infections, he may have parasites, pathogenic bacteria. That often comes on a ride together with EBV. So there's many things to do. There are meal replacements that he could drink until things stabilize to give a break to the gut. But you have to understand what's going on in that gut. Poor guy. You need to work with the weight. I wouldn't recommend a dietitian, but a functional nutritionist. I work with these cases too, but somebody who is, works more often maybe with youngsters. Yeah, you're in a pickle, but get my book, EBV Solutions, on Amazon. It has tons of options, and if you start cleaning up, you might be able to see some things for sleep, some things for stress, some changes in the environment or behavior, or some cool tools for him. But the gut is a big deal. Unfortunately, you need to work with somebody. Linda, I am new here. Do you have any books? Yes, I do. Yes. We're kind of talking about detox and the pros and cons and how to have a big picture and how to understand it. But I've worked on it for years. But I do, the last few years, I focused on chronic Epstein-Barr. And so Amazon has my book, EBV Epstein-Barr Virus Solutions. And so I'm training clinicians. We're setting up an online program for consumers. We have the book, and I do one-on-one with patients. And a lot of my work with EBV actually started with my detox, because when I started to look at research for EBV, I was stunned how close what I've been doing was corresponding to what you need to do for the EBV. So I was on this path for many years without knowing it. So yes, that's the book. It's almost 600 pages, has tons of recipes and lots about what filters, water quality, research. And I put as much research, practical research about organics, what the World Health Organization says about water pollution, what kind of pollution can you expect if you have well water? What kind of water filtration should you avoid and why? What's the research? How does pH affect stuff, or mineral density of mineral status in your body? And so all kinds of recipes, all kinds of ideas for stress management and better sleep. And yes, Shirley says, Holly, just like I agree, acupuncture is fabulous. For all you ladies who are overachievers and type A personality, if you can jump on that acupuncture table and just relax, let go, and let them put the needles when they need to go, just trust them, you'll feel so much better. So Heidi says that every time after acupuncture, she detoxes next 2 days. Pretty hardcore. And Linda, you're already doing a lot of things. That's wonderful. We have to. I mean, it's not like it's just a new behavior. We don't have a choice. If we want our children and grandchildren to have genetics that that can withstand the toxicity, we have to build it up. We have to clean up. Okay, Jennifer, you've been to 4 gastroenterologists and still suffering. Okay, Jennifer. So heads up for gastroenterologists. I remember when I was in Baltimore, and I moved into Hopkins as the first nutritionist. They were seeking me out and invited me to their new integrative center right next door to the Hopkins world famous gastroenterologist division. And so this is Hopkins gastroenterologist Jennifer, and I actually used their kitchen, the gastroenterologist kitchen, to run my detox. Because I used their kitchen because in my detox program I used to cook, and we used to eat together with the students, which actually now I made into videos. The recipes is there, the videos are there, the shopping videos are there, so you literally can see exactly what I was doing in person with for my patients before. And I remember being so excited, and then I opened their fridge and my jaw dropped. You don't want to know what was in that fridge. Ever since then, I've been looking for gastroenterologists that are open-minded, integrative, and functional. And Dr. Gerald Mullen was right there, and we worked together for many years. But he doesn't take new patients anymore. He's kind of retiring from the clinic. And it's very hard to find gastroenterologists that is where we want them to be. And that's very unfortunate. And I struggle with having names that I can recommend myself for any person that is looking in different locations. So I would say, Jennifer, if you want to go to Institute for Functional Medicine website and Google gastroenterologist, put gastroenterologist specialty in there or your zip code, go and search, and then call those practitioners that come up, especially the ones that are certified, yes, because they are very involved in the community and they will know somebody locally. So you can call their clinic and ask, can you recommend a gastroenterologist that you can trust? And Jennifer, thank you for buying the book. And Jen, okay, Jen, thank you so much. Let me see what else you guys are asking. Keep those questions coming. We have about 5 more minutes. Oh, Lindley, thank you so much I'm so glad that you love the book. If you want to support the EBV agenda, education, pushing the issue out there, please give us a 5-star on Amazon. We have people really upset about Kindle. We have white paper incompatibility. We've been struggling with Kindle. They're not supportive. They're not fixing it. People give us 1 stars. There was a woman saying it's a waste of money, and I'm trying to ask her, what do you mean? What did the book not give you? And so suddenly our ratings are dropping, and it's heartbreaking. And I hope there was a very negative medical doctor who had very valid points, and I addressed them, but really it was more personal vendetta. I don't know why, I don't know her. And so I'm afraid people see that. They don't see other clinicians and medical doctors that are really explaining why the book is helpful. That breaks my heart. But if you can write a review so other women can see it and trust that it's still worth picking up, we'll change the world together. I would really appreciate it. Okay, Angie. It's true after an EBV flare that you need to detox EBV buildup. If so, what simple process? Angie, nutrient density. So decreasing the toxic load, whether it's from water, air, food, spiritual, emotional, people around you, sleep, stress, the sleep, finding ways to sleep through. And then very simple, maybe simple smoothies, very highly nutrient dense. There's tons of ideas in the book. Making soups, like big sturdy stews with lentils, vegetables, and lots of goodies and herbs and botanicals. Tons of ideas in the book. That's, if you want to stall EBV, you want to have very strong nutritional status, like number 1. And so that's why the book is so big, because I had to go into all these areas and explain to people why it's really so important. Angie, is that helpful? So the truth is that the skinny on the detox is that it's not like a diet, it's not a cleanse, it's a reality, and especially when you have chronic illness. And some of you guys know you have to do your part, get organics, clean some aspects of the environment to feel better, to manage it better. There's no choice. I do the same thing. I don't have EBV chronically. I have a virus in my ear. Might be EBV, you guys, I don't want to test because I'm doing the same thing, and I have the antivirals in the kitchen cabinet. If I feel like it's starting to bother me. I know there's more stress, I don't sleep enough, maybe I didn't eat so well, and I jump on the little protocol that I'm teaching in the book. Next day I'm fine. So that's basically it. And with EBV in particular, that's what I teach my patients, that eventually once, and Shirley, are you still there? That's what we did. Eventually, when you feel under the weather, you jump on it, 1-2 days, you jump out of it, and you continue functioning. That's the goal for every single person I work with. We get to that point, but it's like little things that you have to put in place. So what Jen wrote about a discount on the detox with the cost. Oh yes, we forget. We have to say goodbye, but I have to say about the detox program. So here's the most exciting part about it. You'll have me in the kitchen. So I'm in the kitchen making a mess. My husband is recording, and I'm telling you stories about foods. And so basically, you're looking at a person creating something wonderful, nourishing out of nothing. Multitasking, so you can do a lot in one day, make a mess, put some music on, and then put it in the fridge, freezer, and you don't have to overwork, especially when you're so sick, for example. We have shopping videos when I go to different aisles in a health food store and tell you, okay, forget this, forget this, forget this. This is the oil you want, forget anything else. This is a kind of oil, this is a kind of bottle, and here's the tips about which oil, how often, what not to do. Next aisle. So you have very, very simple strategies. The next thing you can learn is we have a pantry rehab. So very simple list of what to donate, clean up, or what to put in, and what to pay attention to. And then we have tons of things. We have like a weekend immersion with food. You shop, you cook, you freeze. I teach you how to soak beans properly, how to really optimize the nutrient density, and how not to have bloating and gas from it. All that is there's things in the book as well, but the detox also has like 1,000 recipes, and there's a detox manual you get, and the Facebook group when we can talk, chat, you can ask questions. So we kept the discount. So you go to mykashakinds.com. I'm going to post link later underneath. You click on 30-day detox, and you can go and click and pay. At the checkout, put reboot 85. Let me see if I can write it for you. Reboot 85. I think that's what it is, right? We still kept it because it used to be almost $1,000. We dropped it, and now this is the lowest. It's going to be $149 at the checkout. And the best thing we've done, I think the best thing I've done against business sense, but I just love the concept. I took out the time restriction. It used to be for 3 months, 4 months. I opened it up so you can do it many times, and you can stay on it for a year. You can go back. It's a resource for you, so you can do it at your pace, even though you have weekly projects. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of audios, videos you can listen to. Okay, so let me check. So yes, you can still get it. We're going to keep that price at least till 15, so you have a couple of days. Let me just see if there's any other questions, and then I'll let you go and have dinner. Swella, hello from Baltimore. I'll let my husband know you've been here. Angie, movement, yes, there's a nice chapter, a part of the detox when I talk about movement and what's safe, what's not, how to be practical, especially when trying to lose weight. And in the book also I talk a little bit about that. Movement when you are actively shedding the virus is very, very risky. The more gentle the better. That's why the mini trampoline is very good, because you just jump on it, don't do anything. Angie, thank you for the book. I hope you love it. I hope it makes a difference. And Sandra, hello. Is it harmful, Jennifer? Is it harmful to have high EBV titers for a long period of time? At what point do we stop requesting the test? Mine have been high for over a year. Jennifer, this is a very good question. So, for everyone with EBV, do not get hung up on EBV, VCA-IgM, and NA-IgM, AN, nuclear antigen, NA-IgG, because these oftentimes remain high for the rest of your life. You can't make decisions about your life based on those two. Early antigen, on the other hand, will go up and down depending if you're reactivating or not. So, as the two that remain that I mentioned, they may be dropping to a degree as you live your life. If you have a perfect life and perfect health and they're still elevated, no problem. I would not worry. Whatever damage has been done, if you're thriving, you've combated it, you've stalled it, you're doing great, they will always be elevated. It depends, sometimes they can drop, but not to negative. I don't think I've ever seen those two drop from high numbers to negative, and even in patients that do great. So, Jennifer, is that helpful? Yes, Shirley, you must eat nutrient-dense food. We must. And celery juice is good, yes. Medical medium Anthony is teaching us about the celery juice. Some people do great with it, some people hate it. But it's a good thing. And Holly, let me see. My husband got a sore throat coming on, and I gave him the concoction in the book, and next morning gone, haha. All right, Holly, best thing ever you could have done to check if it was viral. So I had a situation with my husband when he came from Baltimore on a plane, and he got sick, and I did the antiviral just like you did from the book, and after a day, nothing happened. After 2 days, nothing happened. We sent him to the doctor, and it was bacterial, and he had to get antibiotics, and he did, because we were afraid of pneumonia, and that worked. So it's very good to know about EBV and the EBV protocol, and with your family members when they have sniffles, if it's virus, if it's flu, it's the same nutrients that the viruses hate. So, Holly, great job, very smart, and you can do it with the kids too. Okay, you guys keep posting. Hold on, let me just finish. I don't want to not answer anyone. The detox program will get you on the track. There is so much information in this program. That's Shirley, our pro. Thank you, Shirley. Yes, I love teaching this program in person. I love to cook for and eat together. It was really good. Okay. Thank you, Jen, for posting the link. Jen just posted the link for you guys for the detox program. Debbie, hello. You're welcome, Jennifer. My skin is always inflamed, so would detox work? So here's the deal, you guys. If you jump into that detox program, and let's say you have all kinds of problems, which, I can't customize that detox for you, you can still benefit from all the videos, all the support, the kitchen pantry, just learning, just different strategies. There's goal setting, there's different tables of tracking how you feel. It's such a resource. You get 340 pages of the detox manual that you can print and fill out different things. A lot about stress. So it's such a great place to visit. You're going to feel more nourished and educated. So I don't know about your skin, why it's inflamed. I have no idea. Sometimes skin is inflamed because of H. pylori or EBV or a food that you're reactive to. I have no clue. Maybe it's a chemical you're exposed to, your laundry detergent, your soap. But it's a program like that would give you space and time to actually investigate where that inflammation of the skin is coming from. So hopefully that will help. And Amy Bolster. Oh, okay. Okay, you guys, hold on. I'm so sorry. So the code is expired. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Oh shit! I think I forgot to tell my website master how to turn it on for longer. So here's what I'm gonna do, you guys. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna emailing him right now. Hopefully by Monday he will pick it up. I don't know how to turn it on. I'm gonna ask my team too if they can go in and turn it on again so you can get the discount. Please, please. Thank you, Amy, for checking, and I apologize that it's not working anymore. Flu shots, Jennifer. The best flu shot protection is actually vitamin D. If you look at studies, even better efficacy. Simple as that. The better your nutrient status of D, the better protection. Personal preference. I'll tell you personally, I've never taken one and I never will. That's my personal preference. I can't tell you what to do, but just get that vitamin D level higher. Skin is EBV flare. If skin is EBV flare, Angie, the program will be really great. The program will do perfectly together with the book because, as I said, my book evolved through my years of work with the detox program, and when I realized that there's a perfect match in terms of the nutrients and the research and what the EBV hates. Okay, so you gave me some homework. I have to check with my team this weekend and figure out why that coupon doesn't work anymore. I can't believe I missed that. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Let me just post one more question. Anybody has any more questions? Here's our skinny on detox, huh? No more questions are coming so far. Going on. I thank you so much for joining us here. When will you be back on? Jennifer, what do you mean? Thank you, Heidi. What do you mean, Jennifer? When will I be on Facebook Live again? Oh, I don't know. We had to really put it in place because I'm so busy with the EBV online program. Surely always good to connect with you again live. Thank you, Amy. Oh, Amy, you love the book. Please give us 5 stars on Amazon. Thank you. I don't know. I love to be live on Facebook, but I just don't have too much time because of the work pressure. This weekend, tomorrow as well, and tonight, you know, my husband and I are not going anywhere. He knows I have to do we're doing the, very exciting. It's called Recovery Masterclass, EBV Recovery Masterclass. It's going to be an online program for anyone who wants to jump in and have structure online. So I don't really have time to hang around on Facebook Live, but thank you so much for coming. I would love to be here more, honestly. So, okay, so you guys are still asking questions. Hold on. My class is starting in February on the internet. So, 2 different things. This detox you can do anytime and it doesn't expire and you can just learn. It's not so much detox, it's just creating a nourishing environment, cleaning up some things and having a lot of support, right? The EBV program we're supposed to launch in February, but it's so much work, I don't know if I will be able to keep up with the training program that I'm taking to learn how to create it. So that's what I will be watching tonight, learning my steps. So we hope it will be February, maybe March, fingers crossed. That's where we are, Cynthia, right now. I'm in the very beginning stage. I have all the plans set up. I have to put the meat into it. And Sandra reading your book, very overwhelmed, but good information. Sandra, the first part is for doctors, so you have your validation from them. The second part, the recoveries, is the fun part. Okay, so and it's a resource book, so don't feel overwhelmed. You're gonna go back to it again and again and find things that you need as you go. So it's not a love story you read once. It's big. It's a lot. That's why we're doing the online program, because I know people are asking. You're welcome, you guys. Yes, Amy, I promise I will put the code in as soon as I can. I grab my team and we'll reinstate it. Dr. Best no longer making good ones, unfortunately. Oh, that's not good. You know, Holly, I'm not working that much with proteolytic enzymes anymore with them. I've had oral surgery and I just did, I'm using, for my recovery, I'm using the Nutrimetrics Bromelain Plus. And then just, you can use Nutrimetrics isotonic digestive enzymes between meals as well. So unfortunately, I don't see the best results with proteolytic enzymes despite the research, some good research that I saw and wrote in the book. I'm just not seeing that they're doing as much. I don't know why. So sorry about that. So Holly, you can do very well without them. I would say that. Okay, you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy New Year. If you're going to clean up, do it properly, safely. If you want to do the detox, you can join our private group, Detox, Kasha Kind's Detox Support, I think, is the Facebook group. And then you can always post questions, and maybe even I can do some Facebook Lives for people in the group doing the detox if you have questions. So, all right, my dear, be good to yourselves. Take it easy. Don't be A+ overachievers. Yes, he used Bromelain Plus after dental surgery. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, I love you guys. Good night. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to check later as well to see if there's any other comments later, okay? Have a wonderful evening. Bye. And Swella, I'll say hello from you to my husband. Bye.